Hello everyone, happy Mother's Day to you all. I wanted to pop in and share with you a 5 easy step card tutorial. Usually on Sundays is when I do my photoplay paper, my 12x12 collections. I do have a video, a process video using a photoplay card kit that's going to be posted tomorrow. I wanted to pop in and wish you a happy Mother's Day. It's such a special occasion. If you guys have your mothers, give them a big hug. And if you're celebrating it, have your kids give you a big hug. But I thought I'd pop in and just wish you a happy Mother's Day. Today's card is, I mentioned, a 5 easy step card, and it's actually going to be a card that I had made before. It's this card here. We're going to modify it just a little bit. But I made this card last year for when I worked for Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. This is a fabulous magazine. This is the spring summer issue of 2024. And I had made this card here. And I thought, I don't have a video for it, but it's such a pretty card. I wanted to share with you how I made it. And I think it's the florals are perfect for Mother's Day. I actually created another set of cards. If you guys want to see how I made these, let me know down in the comments section below, and I'll create a video with those cards. So this is what we're going to do today, create that card. The die set that I'm going to be using is probably one of my favorites. It's from Wendy Vecchi, and it's called Vintage Florals. And I just love these flowers. I created several videos using this die set. It's such a lovely die set. So we're going to jump in, get started with step number 1, which is creating our focal point, which will be our beautiful flowers. I'm going to do some die cutting with some colored cardstock here. Okay, we have some pink cardstock. The cardstock that I'm using is Spellbinders Colorwheel, and we're going to die cut out 2 flowers. These flowers here are layerable, so I'll die cut out 2 sets of these with my pink, and then with my teal colored cardstock we're going to die cut out some of these flowers here, these ones. And then I have yellow. There's some little flower buds that we're going to die cut out. We'll do that with some yellow cardstock. With my green cardstock, we're going to die cut out some leaves. And I'm going to do a couple sets of these. And then also, this piece here is for the flower buds. There's 3 flower buds that fit perfectly on here. I'm going to cut out 2 of these. Let me get a smaller piece of white cardstock here. Okay, and then with white, I have some flower centers that we're going to cut out. I'm going to cut out a couple of these. Okay, I will run these through my die cut machine, and you know the drill. I'll be right back. Now, let's put this to the side. Now I have everything die cut out. I do want to do a little bit of ink blending. I chose some fairly lighter colored cardstocks because I'm going to add multiple colors. I'm going to use my Simon Says Stamp inks because they're nice and juicy. And we're going to first add color to our pink flowers. We're going to add a darker pink, and then we're also going to add an orange. I'm going to be using Sherbet and Carnation, and I'm just going to add, we're going to first add a little orange to the edges here. I'm going to hit and miss because I like the color variant. Just like that. I'll do the same thing to the inside portion, just different sections. And then I'm going to take my carnation, and we're going to add some color to the edges also. We're going to kind of overlap them. And I think that just looks beautiful. So we'll put those inks aside. I'm going to bring in a small foam square, and we're going to layer that flower center. And look how pretty. And those flowers are all done. Now I'm going to clean my work surface, and then we're going to work on our blue flowers next. For these flowers, I'm using my Simon Says Stamp Surf ink, and we're just going to highlight a few of these edges. And I think I'm going to bring in another color also for these. I think I'm going to bring in a dark blue. Let's see if we can find a dark blue. Maybe we'll bring in a galaxy. I think I'm going to bring in Cadet. Is that dark enough? Yeah. I think I'm going to bring in the Cadet. This case is from Pink Fresh Studio, and it actually is really nice if you guys haven't seen them. There's two different sections that hold tons of inks. I'll link it down below, but it's so nice. And then Simon has these little decal stickers that I use, so I know that this is Simon, because I have another one of these that I put my paper tray inks in. Okay, let's add a little bit of Cadet, this darker blue. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to add a very little over the edges here. Let me show you. Just very little goes a long way, but just that little blue makes a big difference. Okay, we'll put these to the side. And now we're going to work on our flower buds. Flower buds are all done. Okay, now we have our flower centers. That's what these are for. Now, for these two flowers, we're going to add the little moon shape. We're just going to add a little dot of glue. And then we can place these little moon shapes. There's deboss details, so you kind of know where to put them. But you can also add these layers too, but we're going to mix and match. So we have some little white moon shapes here. Okay, for this flower, we're going to lay, since we have two of these, we're going to layer both of these here in the center. And that one is good to go. Okay, and then for these flower centers, I'm actually going to use the inside pieces to this. We're going to add some little polka dots. I'm just going to add 3 to these. We're going to add 3 little polka dots to our pink flowers. If you wanted to use a white gel pen, you could do that. But I think these little white dots do so much. Okay, to create my focal point, to make it really easy, I'm going to bring in a piece of my waterfall cardstock. I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. Okay, and then we can arrange our florals on this, so it'll be all one piece. And we'll start by adding our pink flowers. I did put foam tape behind them. And we'll just do a little tucking here. Lovely. And then we can add our leaves. Then we have our flower buds. I put a little glue at the top of my flower buds, and we're going to add these over here. I'm going to trim off this flower here and make it 2 pieces. And we'll take this one and we'll add a little glue and we'll tuck it under here. And then I'm actually going to use my scissors and trim away my paper underneath. Just trim that corner off, and then we can add a little glue here to this flower bud, and then we're going to tuck it here. So we arranged them all on that piece of cardstock. You can see here. Let's actually put some foam tape behind here so this is ready to go. And that is our focal point. Now let's move along to step number 2, which is creating our home panel. My home panel is not a typical panel. It's actually going to be a picket fence. This is the Spellbinders Picket Fence die. I just love this. I'm going to cut this out with white cardstock, and then I'm also going to cut it out with some pop-up foam. Once these are die cut, we're just going to take them and layer them together. And this is going to be our home panel where we're going to put our greeting and our focal point. I mentioned this before, but your home panels could be unique And the uniquer the better for me, but I love picket fences. I just think that looks so pretty. So that's my home panel. I'm going to go ahead and take my focal point and we're going to layer it right on our picket fence. Just remove the release paper and I'm going to layer it here. I'm trying to leave enough room for my greeting. And I think that will look beautiful here. Home panel and focal point are all done. We're going to put this here. And now it's time for step number 3, which is creating our sentiment. In our die set, another great thing about the vintage florals is there's a greeting. There's a hello in here. So I'm going to take that along with the shadow. I'm going to cut out the shadow with vellum. I want to make sure that my hello stands out a little bit more than the white. So I'm going to use some of my gray cardstock. And I'm going to cut this out several times. We're going to do a little bit of layering with the hello. So I stacked it 3 high. And then we'll add some glue behind here. And then we'll tack this down to our vellum. And that's our greeting. We're going to take our greeting and add it to the front of our picket fence. The glue's a little splotchy, but when it dries, it'll dry clear. Now we're going to move along to step number 4, which is our background. This is where I'm going to modify it a little bit. I have a piece of waterfall cardstock. It's an A2 panel, and of course we're making a landscape style card. And I'm just going to do a tone on tone with a background stamp. This is the Simon Says Stamp Circle Doodle background, and love circles. I'm going to go over my circle doodles with my watermark ink, and we're just going to do a tone on tone, keeping it subtle because I don't want to take away from my background. Okay, we're going to bring in our cardstock. I'm going to layer this here. I have a brayer, and we're just going to go over this. And this will just give me a nice watermark on my background. Nice and subtle. Let's take a look. You see how nice and it's very subtle, but really pretty. Okay, let's put this to the side. I'm going to put this on my card base. Let's go ahead and take our home panel. I'm going to add some glue behind here. And I'm going to tack this down here, and we're going to add this here. And I think I'm going to use my scissors. And I'm going to adjust this piece here. I'm going to lower this flower bud piece just a little bit. And to do that, I just nipped off the stem. And then I need to add some foam tape to the flower buds. And this way I could tuck it a little bit closer to my florals. There we go. And I think that looks lovely. Now, moving along to step number 5 means it's time to embellish. And I just think pearls are going to go beautiful with this card. It's going to stand out in my background. If you had liquid pearls, you could do that. I'm using my Fashion Oyster pearls from Spellbinders. And we're going to go ahead and add a few pearls in our background. I'm also going to do one more thing. I bought a brand new Wink of Stella sparkle pen. I was using a Spectrum Noir pen and it ran out, so I bought a Wink of Stella, and I haven't used this in a very long time, but I think it's going to add just the right amount of shine to my greeting. And we'll add this. Let's add it to the flower centers too. Kind of goes with the pearl for a little extra shine. And that is my card today. Have a lovely Mother's Day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.